All right, the next section, oops, I accidentally went to Corinthians, it's going to be a short Wednesday reading, which is Romans 16:17 through 19.
Okay. Now I urge you, brothers, to keep your eye on those who cause dissensions and stumblings, contrary to the teaching which you learned, and turn away from them. For such men are slaves, not of our Lord Christ, but of their own stomach, and by their smooth and flattering speech they deceive the hearts of the unsuspecting. For the report of your obedience has reached to all. Therefore I am rejoicing over you, but I want you to be wise in what is good and innocent in what is evil.
What do you think is like the best way to like identify people who cause divisions or offenses? Like, could it be like I said, I'm trying to think of like a scenario like I think I think we talked about this off the podcast, but me being worried about like, oh hey, if I say certain words, I think we talked about it before. Yeah, oh, this might bother people because it has a bad connotation that I didn't know about, or
Right.
something like
It
that.
might seem harsh to
Exactly.
the ear of your hearer when you don't mean it harshly.
Exactly. But someone gets like, oh, maybe Jared's causing division, right? So how do you distinguish between what's an honest mistake and what's a not in good faith actor here?
Well, I mean that the person who causes stumblings, the one who causes dissension, it'll be a pattern of behavior that shows up. We were talking about the language you were talking about previously was sometimes you'll use language that is very definitive but not collaborative.
Sure.
And that's a lot of that comes from you very much live in the business world where you're probably rewarded a lot for definitive communication. And the more creative spaces you're in, the more collaborative language you are forced to use. And if you've been in technology, it's not usually that collaborative. It's usually
Sure.
it's usually like, all right, here's the solution. I'm going to go execute it.
Yeah.
And then when you get into more of a design side of life, you have to learn to communicate that way. And the same thing in the church is especially when it comes to matters of figuring out what is true. Like when it's an invitation to study the truth together. It's an invitation to go on the adventure of exploring the truth together.
Okay.
And so if I come to you with the assumption I have all the right answers and you don't, I will say things that shut you down. And so I'm basically telling you, you're wrong, Jared, and I'm right. You got to listen to me. And sometimes that might be true. Jared, you murdered that guy in cold blood. That's
Not good.
wrong.
Yeah.
You know this is wrong. It's
Yeah.
not a debate, right?
Yeah.
But that's the kind of language. The person who causes these stumblings, this is a very divisive set of behaviors. Divisiveness is a kind of a generic term.
Right. Yeah.
And then if you accuse someone of being someone who causes dissensions and stumblings, you're going to be pointing to a chain of behavior that is doing that.
I see.
So the dissensions will be, I'm going to pick a fight with you about some random point of doctrine that maybe it's not even a real point of doctrine, or about words and all that. And you think about all the instances in the Timothys and Titus, and also in James, where he talks about the evil speech. And the servant of God must counter that or be not get involved in that, but instead engage in God glorifying speech and to eschew the wicked speech. So the one with dissensions, the divisive one, will have a pattern of behavior that is setting wedges between brothers and sisters, and either between the individuals or between them and truth. And that he's kind of dealing with both things here in this passage.
Yeah.
So you think about, okay, you have encountered people that do this. And usually, my experience in the church is it is rare to find someone with the bad guy mustache twisting it and going, "Wah-ha-ha-ha,"
Sure,
right?
yeah.
It's usually something more like they hold their opinions in such a way
Yeah.
that they're punching you in the face with them.
Yeah.
And they don't understand Romans 14 at all. Basically,
Correct.
nothing is a Romans 14 issue because everything is a doctrinal
Yeah.
issue. And you're wrong in going to hell
Exactly.
because you're a false teacher because you believe what contradicts them.
Correct. Yeah.
Now, that's just by the way I stated that. It is such a harsh and arrogant way of
Sure.
thinking and speaking.
Yeah.
And so these people cause these dissensions. The weak in the flock can get destroyed by that. And Paul actually talks about not spoiling the hearer in the context of evil language versus good language. And so that's why he says you keep your eye on these ones who cause these dissensions and stumbling, and turn away from them. So once they, and he says in Thessalonians to note, to have nothing to do with the one who causes dissensions, who is divisive. Sorry, and after warning them one or two times, and so he's actually putting kind of a bit of a timeline on that behavior, so that this behavior gets handled quickly.